Have you ever wondered why so many people struggle to become resilient adults or find it challenging to be true to themselves? Well, there are many factors at play, but in Gus van Sant's Gerry, we find an intriguing metaphorical truth that touches on these very issues. This is part 4 of a series of 5 films directed by Gus van Sant. In Gerry, the journey of two friends named Gerry serves as a metaphor for the human experience of personal development and the emergence of different personalities throughout life stages. As people progress from childhood to teenager, to young adult, to middle-aged, and eventually to elderly, they undergo significant changes in their personalities and perspectives. In nature, where the struggle for survival is harsh and unforgiving, older personas are gradually shed over time as individuals adapt to their environment. This natural process of shedding personas mirrors the metaphorical journey depicted in Gerry, where two characters confront the harsh realities of the wilderness and undergo personal transformation. However, in today's world, with advancements in technology, comfort and security, people may no longer face the same life-threatening challenges as in nature. Consequently, the personalities that emerge during different life stages may persist longer than they would in a natural environment, as there is less pressure to adapt and change. Moreover, the lack of connection to one's true nature in modern society may further contribute to the perpetuation of these personalities. In Gerry, the character's struggle to navigate the wilderness can be interpreted as a symbolic representation of the internal battle individuals face in reconciling their current self with the personalities they developed in other life stages. If this reconciliation of personalities fails, and the different personas become more entrenched, individuals may become increasingly self-absorbed, focusing primarily on fulfilling the needs and desires of each personality.
How the fuck did you get up here?
Thus, Gerry suggests that the alienation from nature and the continued existence of personalities in a modern society can lead to an increased sense of self-absorption and a diminished ability for authentic self-expression and connection with others.
She thought it was a Y? Who, the contestant? Yeah. Yep. She had every letter except for the L. She had B-A-R-R-E blank I-N-G down the road.
Join us as we explore Gerry and discover the insights it offers into the human experience of transformation. And don't be surprised if later in the video we compare Gerry with Inside Out. They are quite alike. In the opening scene of Gerry, we see the two Gerrys driving through nature. Their journey into the wilderness is driven by a desire to experience the thing. For them, the thing is nature. But it's not the real thing. It's not true wilderness, which is far too distant from their romanticized perception of nature. When they arrive, nature appears as a departure from the comforts of human civilization. But that's not why they set out. For them, the thing is synonymous with a countryside excursion, fresh air, technology detox, relaxation, pseudo-spirituality. They want to connect with the thing to momentarily forget everyday life. As they venture into the wilderness, they stay on the path created for them by culture and civilization. But then, this happens.
Hey guys. Hey. Hiking moms on the trail?
It's just gonna be, it's all tourists up there.
And Gerry has a great idea.
Let's go this way, man. It's gotta, everything's gonna go to the thing. Everything's gonna lead to the same place.
Just loop around?
Yeah.
Go our own fresh route?
The place Gerry refers to, however, is the real thing. The moment Gerry leave the path laid out for them by culture and civilization, they enter a territory completely alien to them. And when you listen to the soundtrack, it becomes clear that something unsettling has just happened. They wander through the real wilderness without understanding the difference. And after a while, they say,
Fuck the thing? Fuck the thing. Power on to the thing!
Fuck the thing.
Fuck the thing!
But now, nature won't let them go. They've crossed the boundary and must now abide by the laws of nature. They walk and walk, and even after they've realized that they are lost, they're not overly concerned. They talk about cultural things like TV shows and video games, but this kind of knowledge doesn't help them get back to civilization. At some point, they crack. They realize they might die. Now, for the first time, we see the difference between the two characters. One Gerry is more childish and immature. He doesn't know what to do. And the other is already at a higher psychological level.
Stop crying, man.
The two characters are actually one person, teenage Gerry and young adult Gerry. Young adult Gerry has a plan, is more resilient, and does what is necessary without having strong inner conflicts. The landscape changes, but they seem not to care. If this were a film about two real guys who got lost in the wilderness, they would not be heading in a direction that definitely has nothing to do with the place they came from. But Gerry and Gerry keep walking and walking. They walk for days, they talk about finding water, but they don't die of thirst. And they're not so weakened that they can't continue because they haven't eaten for days while climbing mountains, going through deserts, etc. We don't see them sleep either. And that's because all of this isn't happening in the real world. It's happening inside Gerry. The landscapes are a part of Gerry's inner nature. In this sense, Gerry and Inside Out, the Pixar blockbuster, have a lot in common. Both are largely about the portrayal of the inner psyche. In both films, the environment serves as a metaphor for the characters' internal struggles and emotional states. The barren, desolate landscapes in Gerry reflect the emotional isolation and existential journey of the characters, while the imaginative landscapes within Riley's mind in Inside Out represents her inner thoughts, memories, and emotions. At this point in the journey, teenage Gerry begins to understand what is going on and what the problem is. Because of him, they can't find their way back to reality. Because of him, young adult Gerry lives in a kind of mirage, in an illusion, in a kind of sensory deception. Teenage Gerry understands this, but letting go is not easy. In Inside Out, the imaginary friend and Joy find themselves in the memory dump. If they fail to leave this place, they will both be forgotten. Both try to escape oblivion, but they can't escape the place. Only then, the imaginary friend realizes that he must stay behind. He sacrifices himself so Joy can return. In Inside Out, the sacrifice of the imaginary friend is necessary to save Riley. The sacrifice of teenage Gerry is necessary to save young adult Gerry. When Gerry and Gerry collapse in the salt desert, both know intuitively that teenager Gerry's persona must go. Young adult Gerry must make teenage Gerry leave, otherwise he will never return to civilization.
I'm leaving.
What comes across as touching and melancholic in Inside Out appears violent and brutal in Gerry. Teenage Gerry doesn't have to disappear because he's a bad person, it's just that his time is up. And he needs to make way for young adult Gerry to flourish. After teenage Gerry has left, young adult Gerry finds his way back to civilization. This new Gerry is a more resilient person, able to be true to himself because of the experience he just went through, and because there is no other Gerry interfering with his thoughts and actions. The film works, but watching it is really difficult, and this is deliberate. Gerry is one of those films where viewers only receive the information they need to understand what the film is about at the end of the film.
Where are you going? I don't know. You want to help?
Gerry is about the fact that humans have created an anthropogenic culture and civilization intended to serve humans. If we stay within this human-created bubble, we can retain the parts of ourselves that would not survive in a hostile environment, like nature. To survive in nature, you must let go of the parts of yourself that are incapable of surviving in a merciless environment. This is difficult. People don't want to change. The two Gerrys want to return to civilization together, but nature doesn't allow it. Only after one part has decided to leave does civilization reappear. Gerry conveys a metaphorical truth. People keep parts of their personality alive that they do not need for survival or to achieve a good life. And they do this because they believe they can afford to do it, and because they think it is easier that way. But they are mistaken. These parts make our lives difficult and painful because they distract us from the really important things. These parts are obstacles to a fulfilling life, to our well-being, and to our mental health. If you cannot let go of these parts and you live in nature, you die. However, in civilization, we do not have to let go of these parts within us. Gerry visualizes the inner struggle that a person must go through to survive in nature. When Gerry sits in the car at the end of the film, he has become someone else. Not because he has slain a dragon or overcome many external obstacles by force, as in the hero's journey for instance, but only because he has let go of a part of himself that prevented him from becoming what he already is. With Gerry, Gus van Sant shows us what the inner journey of a hero looks like. It's a painful, tough, slow and frustrating process. Gus van Sant likes to show us the truth in a metaphorical way, and in this regard, Gerry is a great film. But for the mainstream film fan, Gerry feels like an unbearable art film. But now you have an advantage. If you watch the film, you have this map of knowledge, and I can assure you that watching Gerry is much more enjoyable when you know what it is about.